Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hey everyone, hope you're doing well this fine Friday. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and BCH. Before we get into it, I want to ask a couple favors. Number one, I'm sure you've heard it, but the audio, when I do long videos, sometimes there's this snap. I don't know what it is, but if you know what it is, I'd appreciate any info on how to fix it. And also, if you use the alert service and you find it beneficial and you would like to leave a testimonial about how it has helped you as a trader or helped you learn or whatever it's helped with, we would appreciate that, and we'll use it for our new site. And if we use yours on the front page, we'll give you some free stuff, either courses or membership or whatever. We'll work something out, but we would appreciate that as well. So let's get into it for what we see on the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, we have inside bars forming some places. So here on Bitcoin, inside bar on the daily time frame currently forming. This is healthy consolidation. The bulls are still in control at this point, and it would require a more significant break on the 4-hour time frame. And if we look at the 4-hour time frame, we can see that it's pretty much an equilibrium pattern. So this is what I've been watching all day, and I've known that today is likely not going to be action-packed as long as we're in this pattern. So we have the high of the breakout, the low of consolidation, lower high, here's our higher low, and now we're trading within this range. So the current range that I'm looking at on this 4-hour equilibrium is down at 95.40 support and 97.45 resistance. So about $195 range that we're currently trading within, and I anticipate to break this range sometime probably tonight. Let's see. Maybe not, but actually probably likely. Let's say tonight, sometime by tomorrow morning, we'll have more clarity on this 4-hour time frame. We can see the hourly chart has a couple resistance levels with upper wicks to be watching. If you want an even tighter range, there's resistance at 97.12 as well as 96.92 at this point. So just a tightening range. The bulls are still just fine overall. At this point, it's going to require that clear break and the loss of the 4-hour higher low in order for momentum to shift. So again, bulls in full control as long as the 4-hour higher low is maintained. After going through the other three here, I'm going to go over a bit of some trade analysis and review, and made a couple mistakes yesterday, and I always like going over mistakes to learn from them. So checking in on Ethereum, Ethereum's been the lead bull, no daily inside bar here as we did see continuation. You can see significant follow through. 4-hour time frame has a new support level. So we are still watching 4-hour higher lows here as well, with the most recent one being 761.11 support. That's now the must-hold level. If we break 761.11, that tells us that healthy daily consolidation is coming after this breakout. So we are looking at the potential of an equilibrium pattern forming now on ETH. It's almost a step behind, and that's because BTC was still consolidating. ETH broke out above 800 and then quickly turned around and followed the correlation with Bitcoin. We'll look at that in more detail in just a moment. But what that has us now is trading within this range, and we look at the hourly time frame. We've got our high, low, and I would not be surprised to form a lower high compared to 805.31 hour resistance. So watching for the hourly equilibrium on Ethereum, I like this hourly viewpoint for Ethereum. I like the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin in terms of clarity of where we stand right now. Litecoin at PBC, I don't put a whole bunch of weight into them. Palm Beach, what is it? County, Palm Beach, something. They put out releases. They're bullish on Litecoin. Their reasoning makes no sense to me. They say institutional money is going to come in, so why does that mean Litecoin and not Bitcoin or Ethereum? I don't know. Either way, I'm not putting a whole bunch of weight into that. It's just a fact to be aware of, to keep an eye out for any little pumps here, because right now we are up at the high of the day, and we are close to a break of multiple tops right now on Ethereum, or excuse me, Litecoin. So if we get this bull break of 163.99, which we're closing in on, we're going to be looking up at 165.87, and it does look like we're on the verge of this bull break. So it might be Litecoin's time to shine for the time being. 161.20 is support. 158.60 is the must-hold level, in my opinion, for the bulls to keep control here. And we look on the 4-hour time frame, and those are where our last 4-hour support is. So we just had some inside bars break bullish, and now we're looking at the possibility of a bullish follow-through move. So checking the order book real quick to see what it looks like. Big wall at 165. And we'll see if the bulls are able to get up to those levels. So Litecoin bulls are about to see some follow through. It looks like they could see more strength short term than Ethereum or Bitcoin. BCH on the daily time frame, also a daily inside bar, also tightening up, and going to see a break of this daily inside bar tomorrow if we don't get it today. And we're going to be looking up at the recent high of 1539, 4-hour higher low of support. You can see we're just barely grinding these 4-hour higher lows, but they are still holding. Most recently down at 1478. Resistance 1529 and 1539 for the bulls to see continuation. So this is another pattern where the bulls are very clearly still maintaining this uptrend of higher lows and they're grinding higher, but they just need a bull break over those resistances with upper wicks to see continuation. And then the daily chart to break the highest price we've seen, it's 1567. So still a little bit of work to do there as well. The bulls got a bit ahead of themselves when they were the first to top out and the first to break out. So keeping a close eye on Litecoin. As soon as I'm done this video, might end up jumping in a trade, but going to be a bit cautious because I don't feel like sitting on the computer all day. So let's now go to the trade review, and that's pretty much the theme of the trade review, where last night, so yesterday I was in Ethereum and Litecoin and took profit on my positions and locked in that profit because it was a month maker, and that's the kind of gains that I don't leave on the table. And my strategy, if you've been watching for a long time, you know that my strategy is I don't capture the whole bull moves. I take a leg up, I take my profit, I re-enter after consolidation if we get a bull break for continuation. And yes, if someone holding from the bottom to the top, they're going to have more gains than me. But then I outpace all of the holders significantly by being all cash when we pull back and playing oversold bounces and just being much more free that way. So it's my way of remaining cautious. It's my way of locking in gains. And it's the strategy that's been working fine. So again, I'm perfectly fine leaving some money on the table as long as I'm continuously locking it in day after day. So I exited my Ethereum and Litecoin positions yesterday and was all cash and waiting for the healthy consolidation on Ethereum. And I was watching the pattern that was playing out into late night for the US coast here, and it was this equilibrium, and it was such a clear equilibrium, and it was just higher lows and lower highs. Classic equilibrium. And we eventually got the bull break, and that occurred at 2:30. I went to bed, fell asleep at 10 something or 11. I woke up at 1. I saw the pattern playing out, and honestly, I was so exhausted and so sick of the computer. I said, I don't care if it breaks bullish and goes to 800 because I don't want to be doing this right now, and it wasn't worth the money to me. So I said, forget that. I'm going to bed, and I took it once I woke up as a fresh, clean slate. So obviously I did miss that easy bull move. As soon as we broke 776, that's the bull signal, and we did end up going up to 800 from there. So that was the trade to make the profit. And this is an example of, where I say there's something we can do. We can always be improving ourselves no matter what. So I've been doing this for 8 years. I've been really successful. I wasn't trying my best last night. I could have stayed up. I could have woken up. Again, it's all about the balance of how much time and effort do you want to put into this. And again, if you're looking to improve, you can always do more. That's the thing. I'm on the computer 10 hours a day. I was on the computer 10 hours yesterday. I could have done more and made more money. But again, is that worth it? That all depends on you answering that question for yourself. So that's one area that triggered me into a small loss today. So I'll explain that as well. And the loss today was only 20% of my profit yesterday. So 5 steps forward, 1 step back. Perfectly fine with that as well. And the only reason I entered the trade is because the bulls were so strong, momentum favoring the bulls, and because yesterday was such a good day that I knew I had a lot of profit to work with. And again, perfectly fine risking giving back a small amount of that profit. So my entry today was I started accumulating some position in the 790s, the mid 790s on this consolidation, because I could see this 15-minute consolidation was very healthy. And we look at it on the hourly time frame. Now that we got all these lines cluttering things up. But it was here, seeing this healthy consolidation, establishing a higher low. And let's get rid of these lines so we can see. Look at Ethereum and the 12-period exponential moving average support on this hourly time frame. For days and days, this is the level where we bounce off of, and the bulls remain in full control. So once I saw that happen again this morning, I used that as a signal to begin entering, and then I entered the last third of my position on the bull break of 800, just had a stop buy triggered. And you can see everybody had a stop buy triggered at the same time, and we made that bull move. Now, why didn't we get follow through? And the answer is, here's our high at 9:15 and 9:30 a.m. We hit that high and broke 800 on Ethereum. We had a volume climax, which signaled the temporary top. Remember, volume climaxes often signal the bottom, which is a big significant factor of what I use to nail oversold bounces. But volume climaxes can also signal the top, and in this instance it did, just with the hourly volume at the top, the highest volume we've seen on the hourly time frame in 3 days. So why did we pull back from Ethereum and not see continuation after breaking key resistance? Well, what was Bitcoin doing at that time? At 9:15 and 9:30, where is Bitcoin? Here we go. Bitcoin's in the middle of a pullback, and it was just a lower high, lower low pullback for the next 2 hours, more than that, over 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So this is a lesson on correlations. The correlation that we've seen on Ethereum clearly favors the bulls. When Bitcoin's going up, Ethereum's going up further. When Bitcoin's trading sideways or stuck between a bid and the ask and not moving, Ethereum's going up. When Bitcoin is going down, Ethereum's going down as well. We do not have inverse correlations. It's just maybe not going down as hard. But we were pulling back for 2.5 hours on Bitcoin right as Ethereum made the bull break. So that sucked the momentum out of the bull move. We were in a scenario here on Bitcoin, which is another reason I entered the trade, because we had a double top and a double bottom. So I entered looking for this higher low to be established, and then I wanted to see the bull break on Bitcoin to give us that Ethereum follow through into the 810 to 820 range. That was my target, with my entry average just under 800. So I was only looking for $10, $20 to scalp a solid trade and a day maker of a trade, but obviously we didn't get that fill. I did sell some for profit. I sold 10% at 802.90. I sold another 10% at 804.90. Those are all the profitable trades I got off, and then from there it was just a little bit of control damage or damage control, trying to exit the position with just a small loss. And I was going to exit with a market order full position into 8,000 on the back test of support. There was 1,500 bids sitting there on GDAX, but it disappeared in a second when everybody dumped into that. I missed that opportunity by a couple seconds. So from there, it was just trying to sell on the limit on the way down, also selling a little bit on the market. So all in all, ended up with a small loss because Bitcoin was going the opposite direction and eventually made a bear break, which dragged ETH down. So what do I regret over this trade, and what do I learn? I learn if I'm not going to try my hardest and make the ideal entry opportunity, which was in the 770s and very clear, then I need to sit out and wait for a better ideal entry. Although even looking back at it, we could have very easily, if Bitcoin broke bullish and broke this double top right here, Ethereum could have very easily gone to 820. So that's not really it. Really, the lesson is accept losses because they're going to happen. So I'm not worried about it at all. Again, 5 steps forward, 1 step back, no big deal. It will make me a little bit more cautious now on any re-entries that I'm looking for. And speaking of which, what's the game plan into tonight? Bitcoin, we can look for a bull break. If we're going to be looking for a bull break on Bitcoin, I personally would probably rather play Litecoin just because it's a little bit more explosive. And if we do get this bull break of all these tops in the same general area and a bull break of 165.79, the next resistance on Litecoin, looking at the daily chart, isn't really nearby. We'll be looking up around 170 or so. So that's a potential trade that I might take tonight. Again, depends on what I do. If there's some live music going on or whatever, you got to balance life and not try and kill yourself. And also know when to trade and when to not to trade. So if I'm going to say, I want to go out tonight, but I want some Bitcoin, that's not really the way to do it. You know, if I'm going to go out tonight, then I'm going to put trading on hold because I'm not going to be giving it my best effort and my fullest attention. So I would rather not risk money and take a loss and go into tomorrow with a fresh, clean slate than to try and force a trade while I'm out doing something else and not paying much attention. And that's just me personally. There's definitely swing trade strategies that, you know, can do that. But where we stand right now, I keep pointing this out in every video, and I'm not going to change my opinion on it this weekly time frame. I am absolutely still cautious and still very aware that we could top out and set a lower high compared to 11,700 at any point in the next few weeks. And in order for the bulls to see a break of that resistance, we need another 18 to 20% where we currently stand after seeing 5 green weeks in a row. Is it possible to happen? Absolutely. Is it likely to happen? In my opinion, no. It is more likely that we set a lower high, even if that just means 2 weeks of consolidation. Let's say we top out at 10,000 and then we consolidate back down to 8,500 for 2 weeks. that could be all the consolidation the bulls need before they get that breakout and break the downtrend on the weekly time frame. So again, having this weekly chart in the back of my mind has me a little bit more cautious with our daily chart so overextended. Even though the bulls are absolutely still in full control and there's no red flags at this point, we know that that can change pretty quickly. Speaking of which, at one point on the 5-minute time frame today, Bitcoin dropped $300 in 5 minutes. So obviously we recovered from that, but we have to be aware that when the temporary top is hit, we could very easily pull back $400 or $500 within the first hour or two of that pullback. So that's another reason that I want to be protective and not give back any of the capital. So it's been a great 5 weeks starting in April of this bull move with lots of opportunity, and I am going to patiently wait for the next ideal clear opportunity, and it might not come for a few days, which is perfectly fine if you've got that patience. So I appreciate you watching. That's what we're going to be looking at as we head into tonight. The 4-hour equilibrium on Bitcoin is the most important pattern that I'm watching. The Litecoin resistance test that's happening right now is also pretty important. And again, looking for Ethereum hourly equilibrium with a lower high. I am looking for Ethereum to benefit if Litecoin and Bitcoin break bullish, but I'm also looking for it to be a lot easier for those two names to move on this move because we did pull back so significantly. But we did have a nice entry opportunity on an oversold bounce on Ethereum, and with so much volatility, there's trades all over the place. So the 15-minute RSI got right down to oversold. I missed this entry by 1 penny. My order was 761.10, and that was going to begin scaling me in, and I missed it by a penny. So after that trade was missed, I didn't rush in and try and market buy. I just set up. Trade didn't come to me. I missed that one. Would have been some real easy, quick profit. But again, just positioning myself in high risk, not high risk, in high reward, low risk scenarios. And that was one of them. The 5-minute RSI got really oversold on ETH there. And again, just another general rule of thumb, when you're in a bullish uptrend overall on the 4-hour and daily time frame and you see a solid move, the first time the 5-minute and the 15-minute, notably the first time the 5-minute hits the oversold mark from a bull move, you will see a solid bounce. And even if it's just a flip, not necessarily looking for continuation, but a 5-minute bull flip trade from that first oversold point on the 5-minute time frame happens more often than not. Keep an eye out for that and just use it as observation and watch how that plays out. And you'll see time and time again that that is the case. And that's just a nice little rule of thumb to tilt the odds in your favor yet again. Let's talk about bears. If you're looking to go bearish, where do you go bearish in this scenario? Well, the easy way to wait for it's less risk and less reward, but a lot less risk if you wait for the 4-hour higher lows to break. That will shift momentum and that will start consolidation on the daily time frame. So that's a potential to be waiting for that. There are some people that have been playing, the big bull moves that get overextended. That's a little bit more risky as the bulls have had full control. I would rather give up a little bit of reward to eliminate a lot of that risk by waiting for the uptrend to break first thing. The bulls still got it, just patiently waiting to see if we're going to follow through with more tonight. And it's getting to a point where the bull moves are getting a little bit less and less follow through. So again, another reason to be cautious, especially if making entries up here. If you made an entry a while ago and you're riding a bullish position and you're comfortable and just moving up a stop loss maybe every time we establish a 4-hour high or low or something like that, you're very comfortable. But if you're in and out and looking to initiate trades up here, your time frame for the trade and when you take profit should obviously be shorter term time frame, knowing that we do need some longer term consolidation sooner rather than later. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you all continue to do good things. Again, very inspiring, all the messages of people that are changing the way that they live their lives just to have that mindset in their head. Seems pretty straightforward, but almost like we need to remind ourselves to be the best people that we can be. Requires a slight amount of effort, but it pays off exponentially, in my opinion. So, have a great Friday. Do something fun, do something you enjoy, take a bath. Have a good night.